The Talkin Wraslin podcast, where potting is real.
Hi, hello, hey. This is Talkin Wrestling. I'm Dylan, that's Lyssie.
I'm Lyssie.
Hello. Wow, this picture's already outdated.
I was literally just thinking that when I was setting it up. I was like, I need to draw a new picture for the podcast.
It's been like fucking not even 20 episodes and this picture has been outdated.
I was actually just thinking that. I was like, not that I hate the drawing either, but like I kind of wanted to do a new one because I was like, I like the old one better. But
these cats are fighting.
I got it says waist training machine on it.
That's what it says, waist training.
Which feels crazy. I got this ab workout machine, this home workout machine. And it's in a box because it got delivered today. And Dee Dee was sitting on it. And yeah, the cats are already fighting on it. So am I going to set it up after this podcast? Maybe, because I don't have work tomorrow. Or am I just going to do it tomorrow? I don't know. We'll find out. But we'll see how I feel after this. I might jump in the shower, actually, because I know we'll be talking about our week and whatnot in a little bit, but I got my neck tattooed, and my neck is so stiff, and I really, like, need to, not to sound gross, but I really need to wash it. So I just kind of want to sit in some hot water.
I was gonna say, yeah, it feels like it's been a minute, without, like, fucking taking up 45 minutes of everyone's time. How's everything been? How's it going? I guess for me, everything's been going good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's been going pretty good. Maybe I'll just quickly address the elephant in the room really quick of, yes, I'm doing stuff with DCW again, so stay tuned for all of that wonderful stuff. Mother's Day Massacre just came out. I'm on commentary. Shout out Juggalo Jesus. He beat Pavor.
I wonder if we'll ever get to know who Juggalo Jesus is.
He's a nice guy. A very nice guy. A wonderful man. He's my best friend in the world, and that's not Bryce.
Bryce's gonna be like, yo, send me the link.
But yeah, you could catch me on commentary on there. But yeah. Wrestling has been boring as of late. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. Wrestling's been boring. I didn't go throughout the episode here. The summary of the episode is we're gonna cover some of the wrestling from this past week. Not a lot happening. So if you notice, the podcast in the past couple weeks has taken a different turn of like how early episodes have been produced compared to now. Of the half of the episode is like the wrestling news, I guess, and then the second half is like a big subject.
Yeah,
that we've been doing. Like we did WCW 2000 like the one week. This week we're doing wrestling conspiracy theories. This was like a break glass in case of emergency pretty much episode I had planned out. Of just in case there was absolutely fucking nothing to talk about. Like if wrestling was just boring that week or there was no fucking news or anything. And that's kind of where we're at. The original thought of this episode was we were going to do this with Bryce, but then I thought about there's so many conspiracy theories that you can find that we don't have to talk about all of them in an episode because that will be like 6 hours long. So that's why this title of this episode is literally going to be called Wrestling Conspiracy Theories Volume 1, because I'm sure we will revisit this somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
I have other episode ideas too. Like I have a really cool idea of like, I guess like a little teaser, law in wrestling, where like we look up like wrestlers that committed crimes and stuff and talk about it.
Okay.
And everything. But anyway, how you been? What's going on? Why did you get a waist training machine?
Okay. So maybe now is the time that I should sit and talk about this, because it's been about a month now. Actually, a month tomorrow, which is crazy to think about. So it's actually going to be a month tomorrow since things have kind of changed for me. I don't really know how noticeable it is on camera or on audio because it has only been a month. You have told me that things are a little bit more noticeable.
It's not noticeable on audio.
I didn't think so. I didn't think it's changed.
Not as noticeable.
I didn't think it was that noticeable yet.
We also don't have the best like mic system.
We don't. No.
So like
we absolutely do not. But I guess maybe I should address this because this is going to become more of a prominently noticeable thing as time goes on. So about a month ago, I took the steps to start on HRT, which if you're not familiar with what HRT is or what it stands for, it's called hormone replacement therapy. And I have started on testosterone a month ago. So yeah, that's really exciting and interesting that has happened. And one of the, well, what I mean by like, if it's noticeable is obviously my voice is going to change and my voice is going to be a little bit deeper, or a lot deeper. I don't know. I've only been on it for a month, but Dylan had said in person that my voice has sounded different. A couple people
ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Like it's not like big difference yet.
Yeah, no, but Breeze even said it and she's noticed some like, she says that she's noticed some changes already, which is really cool. I've noticed some personal changes already. Like, for example, I've noticed that I don't feel like shit all the time anymore, which is crazy. When I went to go get my blood work done for it, my testosterone levels were exceptionally low. So like, I believe for someone who's born female, the testosterone levels in like the normal range is it's like a 15 to, I can't remember what, I feel like it's like a 15 to a 70 or something. That might be kind of high, but basically the lowest end of a normal level for someone who's born a woman is a 15. My levels read at a 9. So my levels were already exceptionally low. And I'm not sure how much it really played into it, but after like maybe I want to say like 2 weeks into taking it, a week or two, I started noticing like I was having a lot more energy levels. Things in my body were already starting to feel a little bit better, which is crazy because like I haven't not felt like shit for like a very, very long time. So that's really cool. And you know, there's just other things that like people have said that they've noticed, like just different things looking different or whatever. I don't really know. It's hard for me to really gauge and tell because I look at myself every single day.
You look like a bitch.
Okay, well,
You look like a bitch.
that's not nice. But the reason I went into HRT, is for the reason like a lot of people do. It's not necessarily just because like I feel like garbage and I wanted to feel better and whatnot, like physically, but like, you know, and without getting too crazy into detail, because I don't want to be taking up 45 minutes of everyone's time.
Limit it to 45.
Yeah,
minutes.
limiting it to 45 minutes. I've identified as non-binary for 4 years now.
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't remember when we initially had the first conversation, but I feel like it was around like 2021. I had this conversation with Dylan where like I finally was just kind of like, all right, look, this is how I feel, this is how I identify, yada yada, whatever. And I mean, it's been something that's dated back a very long time. I can go through my whole childhood and my entire experience explaining it. To put it in the TLDR way, basically, always felt like I was more of a masculine person, but not exactly 100% like a boy, but kind of wish I was born as a boy. Didn't understand what that meant. Didn't understand how to express that because that sounded confusing. Pushed it on the back burner for a long time. It really never went away. And when I got older and more educated, I learned about what it means to be non-binary or gender fluid or anywhere in those veins, anywhere in that vein, really. And I was like, oh, that's a thing that other people experience. That sounds interesting. And that sounds like something that I feel. So that's really good to know. And then throughout just living and experiencing and trying to figure myself out, kind of came to terms with that. And finally decided to come out to my dad about it because that was the one person I really wanted to talk to about it before making any major changes in my life. Talked to my dad about it. Of course, he still loves me and still supports me because my dad's the fucking best person on the planet. And then about a month ago, I got my appointment and I got started on testosterone. So, why does that involve the waist trainer? Well, I want muscle. I want to be jacked. I want to be big, strong boy. So, I can't do crunches. I'm really bad core strength. I could do planks, I guess, but that really doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. And I know that within one of the, I don't want to say side effects, but one of the things that I would be experiencing more, which I have been experiencing more with testosterone, is a larger appetite, and your body fat's going to distribute differently. So within that, I'm like, I don't want to gain weight. I'd want to gain muscle. So I should probably actually start taking a little bit more of my health seriously. And I don't really want to pay for a gym membership just yet. Because that's not necessarily 100% financially readily available to me, and I don't really like where either of the Planet Fitnesses are located that I can go to with my friends. So I started with some stuff that I know that I can do at home. And
you're just making a home gym.
Yeah, at this point, the second room's gonna be a home gym. We're not making a podcast room; it's gonna be a home gym.
I mean, it can be an office/gym.
Yeah, right.
I guess
I can do push-ups. I could do jumping jacks. I could do cardio and shit like that. I wish our fitness room was open at our apartment complexes. That would be fucking great. But I have really bad times and hard times doing stuff when it comes to core and abdominal stuff. And I saw this thing that a lot of people were talking about, that a lot of people were reviewing and saying was really fucking good, and I bought it. So now I have a machine that's supposed to help with core muscles and whatnot. And the cats are sitting on it and playing on it. On the box.
And Dylan didn't know anything about this.
I forgot to tell Dylan that I ordered it, so it just showed up at the apartment, and he was like, "Did you buy a waist trainer?" And I was like, "A waist trainer? Oh, no, but I bought an ab machine."
Yeah, I opened the fucking door. There's a box sitting there, and I look at the box, and I'm like, well, it says Lyssie's name on it. I was like, well, hey, did you order this?
Sometimes I forget to tell Dylan when I buy things.
I wasn't even mad. I was more confused.
I just forget. So
and then I think I literally told Lyssie this through text. I was like, I think my only Lyssie's telling me all about this. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I think my only concern was, where are you putting it?
Well, it collapses.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, I kind of, it's not, I mean, looking at it in the box, it's not even that big.
Yeah, it's not put together, obviously.
It's not big.
But yeah, no, it collapses down, so it's easy to store. So I was like, I'm probably going to just set it up in the living room for now. And then just collapse it and put it away somewhere when we're not using it. But I said Dylan, I was like, you can use it if you want. It's fine. Dee, get out of the shelf. All right, I said out, not in. D-dirt.
Anyway.
Anyway. But that's not everything that happened this week aside from
I was gonna fill in time, but go right ahead.
So, sorry, I got Dee out of the...
I was gonna fill in time while you're doing it. I didn't know if that was gonna take long.
So aside from the random waste machine that showed up today, that I did not tell Dylan about because I forgot, I got a haircut. So I have a mullet now, which is cool. It feels nice. It feels, I don't want to say freeing, but I guess kind of freeing. Because Dee, get off the shelf! Oh my god!
This motherfucking cat.
Jesus Christ!
You're being bold.
No, it's getting warmer out, so it feels like not as much weight on my head, which is really nice. And it's cute. I have braids in right now for because I still have some length.
Oh, you do? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, so I do this for work. I just got home from work. Because we have to have our hair tied back, but it's not enough hair to justify a ponytail. So I do 2 little braids to keep it out of the way, which is nice. And I got my neck tattooed, which we talked about earlier a little bit. Starting my throat tattoo. It fucking sucks. It hurts. The tattoo looks great so far. It's 2 very traditional roses, but very simplified and very, very thick lines. So it's bold lines. And the bitch fucking hurt. It hurts so bad. And now I think it hurts worse because I keep moving my neck because I have to move my neck. And it's just so sore and so tingly all the time. I cannot wait for the peeling stage because if you've ever gotten a tattoo, you know how the first couple of days it feels really tight. It has that tight feeling to it. And then when it finally starts to peel, it starts to breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's like that, but on both sides of my neck right now. It's terrible. So I cannot wait till it starts peeling so I can actually have a little bit more movement back in my neck because let me tell you, when I have to turn around and check for cars behind me when I'm driving, it feels like I'm dying. It's incredible. But it looks really cool, and I feel badass. So, yeah. Also, my store went on strike. Went on a walkout strike, which was fun. So that was really cool. So I did a walkout strike, got my hair cut, and I got a neck tattoo all in a week. And a waist trading machine, an ab machine. In a week.
Hell yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, my week's been very eventful. It's been very fun. And now we're here. And the episode is a day late because me and Dylan both finally had a Monday off together.
Yeah, we said fuck you guys.
Yeah. My schedule has been so fucked up. Dylan's schedule has been normal, but mine's been fucked, so we've been like missing each other for the past 3 weeks.
But also my schedule, I did fuck up because there was DCW shit that we needed to do.
Which is fine, yeah.
So it was DCW is completely different this time around, where like we don't have like set days.
Yeah.
And I work nights, and so does Eclipse. So sometimes we're filming shit at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then there's other days where we're like, okay, we'll get up early and we'll film stuff before work or before like one of us goes into work or whatever, which is fine.
But yeah, so it's kind of just like our schedule's been kind of conflicting. So this is out a day late. I'm sorry, because it's going to go up on Wednesday, which actually is today because it's like midnight while we're recording this.
Is it already Wednesday?
Yeah, it's like midnight. So this is going to go up on Wednesday.
And if anyone's fucking wondering where Dylan stands with Lyssie's new chapter in life, well, it's the same thing I told Lyssie years ago when we had this initial conversation. Yeah, it was like years ago, right?
This was like 2021, dog.
Okay, yeah, so it was years ago, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
This was also 2021. Anyway,
this match is what made me transition.
Okay.
Not really.
We're not even going to tell them what fucking match. We're going to let them figure it out. Anyway, it's Edge and Seth Rollins from SummerSlam 2021. Anyway, Dylan supports Lyssie.
Yes.
We're engaged. I love Lyssie. It's 2025. Why did I look at my phone? I made sure it doesn't even tell me. I made
sure it was
It doesn't even tell me that it's 2025, but we're going with it. It's 2025. Yeah, no, it's I don't view it as a big deal.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So, it's cool. We're cool. Everything's fine.
But Danny Vallow's back.
So, we're going to put a poll in the chat of what Lyssie should change my name to.
Danny Vallow's back.
But anyway, if I ever do decide to change my name, which I probably will at some point in my life, we'll address that when we address that. But we'll see. That's one of the things where I kind of want to like see where testosterone takes me and see if the names that I have in my head are going to properly reflect how I feel and how I like present. So it's just kind of something where I have to see if like, yeah, this fits me. This is what, okay. So we'll see. But anyway, enough about all that, Dylan. Enough about all that rootin' tootin' stuff. We should probably get into some of the wrestling stuff, right? Because the sooner we get into the wrestling stuff, the sooner we're done with the podcast, and the sooner I can jump in the shower at 2 a.m. and piss off our downstairs neighbors so I can relieve my neck.
You'll just be pissing off the dog. That's about it.
That's true.
Anyway, they're very nice people.
Are they?
Yeah.
I never met them yet.
I've kind of met them when I was out on the back porch smoking weed. And they, like, said hello to me.
I'm like, hi.
Hello. And I was like, okay, they don't care that I'm smoking weed. All right, and I was like, that's good. Anyway, we caught up on Dark Side of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the Billy Jack Haynes one first, because that was technically the before episode of the one that we really want to talk about. So Billy Jack Haynes. Didn't care much about him. Don't know much about him. Just knew that he was fucking crazy and murdered his wife. And yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I was like, who the fuck was Billy Jack Haynes?
The cowboy guy that murdered his wife at like the age of like 80.
Yeah, this is actually kind of
It's like recent.
Well, no, that's not. Well, yes, but not really ironic, I guess. But it's kind of interesting that we're talking about the Billy Jack Haynes episode. And one of the things that they mentioned was he was off his rocker and he was constantly talking about conspiracy theories.
Oh, shit, I didn't even put two and two together.
Yeah. Because that was the whole thing where I was like, wait, I can kind of get behind this guy a little bit for a couple seconds. And I was like, oh, no, I don't like him.
I didn't even put two and two together about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was kind of like, always like saying some wacky ass fucking shit about things. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Okay.
I don't know. Not to sound disrespectful. Actually, I don't care. He killed his wife. I didn't really care too much about this episode. Like, it was interesting.
This episode was every once in a while they have a boring one. They've had a few boring ones where like if you cared about the guy, if you know about the guy or whatever, it's an episode for you. That's what it is.
Yeah, I just
this was an episode for me. It's not really a topic that I really cared for, and maybe it was just because I cared about the next episode that we're gonna review.
I think it was cool they got him in jail though.
Yeah.
They were able to interview him in jail.
Yeah. It's always cool. But next episode, which crazy, last week's episode was about Sabu. Because Sabu recently passed, and this week, well, that's the podcast episode I'm referring to, but now this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring is on his uncle, the Sheik. Which features probably one of Sabu's last interviews. I know he did ones for GCW and stuff. But yeah, this is about the original Sheik. What a crazy, crazy guy.
You know, I don't know when this episode was filmed. Like, this could have been a couple months ago. This could have been a year ago. Who knows?
Probably about a year ago.
But, like, it's just crazy to think that, like, a year ago, I think personally watching this, Sabu was, like, well in his mind.
Yeah.
Not saying, like, he ever lost. I mean, I don't even know if he actually ever had his mind. He was always a crazy son of a bitch. But, like, I wouldn't have guessed if I watched this that, like, he just passed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's just crazy to me. But no, it was a really cool episode to watch, especially because, like, I mean, I remember the original Sheik, but I don't ever remember, like, I wasn't obviously alive and around for when he was doing his thing, so I didn't really know a whole heck of a lot about him.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool. It was a really interesting one to watch. You know what I mean?
What do you think of the Sheik being a crazy guy and his crazy gimmick? Like, he innovated so many things. Like, he's the first one that brought the snake to the ring, fireball, fork. He would just stab motherfuckers.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
He had that fucking infamous match in FMW with Sabu and Onita.
That was probably the one big thing about the original Sheik that I knew was that match. Yeah. Because who the fuck thought that was a good idea? And don't say Onita, because I know it was Onita. But why the fuck did Onita think that this was a good idea?
Because he's crazy. How
the fuck is Onita still alive?
Bro,
I feel like I think that every week.
It's insane.
Like, every time someone brings up Onita, I'm like, he's still alive. How?
Onita's gonna, like, die of, like, something really fucking stupid.
Yeah, he's gonna, like, find out he's allergic to, like, nuts or something. Yeah. And just die from eating, like, a walnut or like, whatever.
Bro should have, like, died, like, 9 times already. And he's gonna die. He's gonna just die, like... He's gonna die of, like, Alzheimer's or some shit. I don't know if you can actually die of Alzheimer's.
No, you can. But, like, deteriorates you.
It's not gonna be something cool. It's gonna be something really sad.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm trying to get at. It's gonna be something, like, really sad. Not gonna be like, yeah, he died in the ring doing an exploding fucking match.
It's not gonna be like, he was blown to smithereens testing out a new gimmick. Like,
how he would have wanted to go.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be, oh yeah, he died peacefully in his home.
Yeah, like,
it's gonna be like, God damn it.
Like, why couldn't I have been set on fire or something cool?
The Sheik's wild.
Yes.
Would always just be in gimmick.
Huh?
Would always be in gimmick.
Yeah, which is one of the things I loved, like, or I love about, like, old school, old timer wrestlers is, like, you're always in gimmick.
You're always in gimmick.
Like, that's hilarious.
It's still real to them, damn it.
Yeah. Not many wrestlers do it anymore like they used to. That was actually someone was talking about that on Twitter of, like, since kayfabe's kind of dead, who's one of the few people that still is in kayfabe? And I'm like, dude, MJF is, like, one of the best ones current day to still do it.
Eddie Kingston.
You know what I mean? But, like, I mean, come on. MJF literally charges you $500 for a cameo to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Good episode. Very, very good episode.
Yeah, Sheik trained RVD and Sabu.
Mm-hmm.
Sheik's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy motherfucker. Crazy motherfucker. Damn right. Anyway, the next episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which is aired tonight as we were recording this, so we'll probably watch it this week and review it next week, is the Daphne one.
Oh, that one's gonna be really hard.
It's gonna be a sad one.
That's gonna be a really fucking hard one to watch.
Be a sad one on Daphne, so that's gonna be an episode, and I'm actually ready for it.
I'm not.
Yeah, understandable, but I'm ready for Daphne. If you're a fan of WCW 2000, Daphne. Anyway, let's just move on to a little bit of Raw from last week. So, we got Punk, Rollins, Breakker, Heyman, Zayn, and Uso. Seth said to Punk, "Cry me a river." So that's funny.
After he said that, like, I looked at Dylan, I was like, do you think that, like, because I'm sure it was intentional, right?
It was 100%.
Can you just imagine if it wasn't and he just said that mannerism and then immediately was like, shit. Like, didn't even think about it? That'd be so fucking funny.
100% intentional.
The amount of times I say "cry me a river" now is, like, obscene.
But anyway,
obscene.
This is building to what's that Saturday night's main event. It is Punk and Sammy versus Seth and Braun.
Mm-hmm.
Is Punk gonna lose another friend? It's Scott Punk.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I don't know.
I can see Sammy beating Jay for the belt.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then we get a heel Sammy as champion. That's good.
Maybe I'm just in denial. I don't want Sammy to hurt anyone.
I do.
I
want him to be a vicious little gremlin. I love him.
Maybe I'm just in denial.
Sami Zayn can't do anything fucking wrong. There's not one mean bone in his body, but if there is, he's not wrong for it. He's not. I support his rights and his wrongs.
And then I wrote this. I wrote this because this pissed me off so much. And this is just for everyone that thinks I just shit on AEW, because here I am shitting on WWE right now. So they have Penta enter for his match, right?
Sure.
Then they have Chad Gable made his entrance during commercial break, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then they have Pat McAfee just walk out to be on commentary after his match 2 days prior against Gunther. And he's okay. He's fucking no selling, nothing. But what the fuck was this?
Why did they just let the
They
announcer...
gave Pat McAfee a whole grandiose entrance. Like, I'm not shitting on Pat, but like, what logic is this?
Like, right before the match starts.
Literally, like,
why didn't he come out before anyone else made their
entrances? The competitors are in the ring. Like, they fucking gave Chad Gable a jobber entrance.
Yeah.
To give Pat McAfee an entrance. And he got his ass whooped by Gunther, like, 2 days prior to this.
Can we also just mention, because, like, we're not going to be talking about Raw from this week, but, like, what the fuck are they doing with Gunther right now?
Bro, I don't know.
Like, I saw someone online on Twitter say, who the fuck did Gunther piss off? And they're so right. He lost the belt, and now they're making him look like a fucking little bitch. They're making him look like a fucking joke.
What is he doing now?
He had some sort of thing with Logan, and, like, WWE posted, oh my god, is Gunther a Loganator?
Yeah. Oh no, that's just getting out of context. Because we actually aren't going to talk about Raw, because it was literally a whole lot of nothing. We'll talk about Saturday night's main event next week. Maybe we'll preview it here, but like, they're just teasing because Gunther gets to face the winner of Jay versus Logan.
Yeah.
So I think that's all they're fucking teasing. Logan ain't beating Jay Uso.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? They're putting Gunther with fucking Logan Paul, and if they do, they're probably gonna make Logan win, which is crazy. Or it's gonna be Gunther versus Jey Uso again, and then they're either flip-flopping the belt, putting it back on Gunther, to be like, oh wow, you beat this guy now again after he like made you tap out and you got your comeuppance back, but like you're still a little fucking bitch. Or he just loses to him again. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, after Gunther lost to Jay, like his whole vibe has been off. Like that, like untouchable, unstoppable, like aura, if you will, of Gunther is just gone. It's diminished.
Yeah.
Like, they fucking dismantled him so fucking fast. Like, I feel like now I don't see... I mean, I feel like I don't see Gunther as a threat. You know what I mean? I don't see him as this unmovable force. Especially because he lost to Jey Uso. And the way he lost to Jey Uso made him look like a bitch. I even said to Dylan, like, I feel like if Gunther passed out or got knocked out, right? Then... that would have been better than him tapping out. Like, I would have loved to see Jey Uso, like, lose his mind and be like, you fucking murdered my brother in cold blood in front of me, I'm gonna fucking do the same to you, and just relentlessly beat the shit out of him until, like, he's unconscious or he passes out or whatever. And then that's how he wins. Because, like, at least at that point, you could take it into the effect of, like, oh, his rage overtook him, and... like, Jey Uso normally isn't like that, but you fucked with his family, and now, like, he just sees red, and, you know, when you see red and that adrenaline's pumping, like, you could fucking move a car if you really fucking want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and if they went into that aspect of it, I feel like that would have made Gunther look so bad and kind of make him lose all of his aura points. Now he's lost all of his aura points. And now I don't take Gunther seriously.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Man.
Am I the only one that feels this?
No, I get where you're coming from. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Gunther.
Sorry that I just kind of went off on this little rant, but like,
I don't
pissed me
know.
off.
Anyway, we'll preview Saturday night's main event right now before we jump into the elite things.
The elite.
So Saturday night's main event coming up. We got 4 matches. Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. Holy fuck. There's 4 matches. Why is there no outrage that there is not a single women's match on this show? I have not seen a single outrage about this. I'm actually kind of shocked. I know that I know that they're getting a pay-per-view, but there is literally not a single women's match on this show.
Okay, well, that's great.
Unless they add one more, like, on SmackDown.
I mean, they might. Because 4 matches is kind of pussy shit.
It's a 2-hour show. It's WWE.
You can put a 5th one in there.
It's WWE.
A woman's match is going to be 5 minutes from WWE. You can squeeze that in there.
That is true. Ads and stuff, though. They gotta give a certain match a lot of time. Anyway. 4 matches for the World Heavyweight title. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Jey Uso. A tag team match. Ska Punk, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Seth and Braun.
Yeah, I think Seth.
They gotta win. It's like their debut tag match. Like, they gotta win.
And Sami turns.
Yeah, like, I know it's Ska Punk's debut tag match, but, like...
they're not really a real...
They're not.
You know what I mean? Like, Seth and Braun are together, whereas Punk and Sami are just kind of doing this for the greater good.
Yeah, they have a common enemy.
Yeah.
In a non-title match, John Cena versus R-Truth.
R-Truth. It's non-title.
R-Truth wins. Cody Rhodes is probably showing up.
Yeah.
There's some shit. Something's happening. No, John Cena's winning. But, like, this is just going to be goofy shit.
Yeah. Whatever.
And in a steel cage match, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
This is still happening?
They're still feuding.
Still going on?
They're feuding, and like the United States title was like intervened for like a week. It's insane.
I mean, okay, cool, fuck it, why not? But like, they're still going on?
They're still going.
Okay.
The girls are still fighting.
All right. Bisexual baddies over here. Let's go.
Who wins that? Drew McIntyre or Damian Priest?
I don't even know. I don't even know where their feud's at. They're on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to
they're buried in the SmackDown void. Drew McIntyre, I'm assuming.
Who won the last one?
I forget. Drew McIntyre.
Oh, I think it was Drew.
Was it Drew?
So probably Damien.
So Damien, I don't know.
Who cares? That'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Dynamite quick.
Is that the main event?
I don't know. I just read it the way that they had it.
Oh, okay.
No, they'll probably give Cena the main event.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, that's true.
They'll probably have Cena be the main event. They could probably open with the cage match. I would open with the cage match. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The Dynamite. MJF has been accepted into the Hurt Syndicate.
Or will he be? Because they have that contract signing and MJF's like, I'm going to have my lawyer, Smart Mark Sterling, look it over. And MVP was like, what?
That is true.
What? You're going to have a lawyer look it over? And MJF's like, Montel, come on. You know, you want sign a contract to have a lawyer look it over. Am I right? Yeah, buddy, all right.
That is
true.
And
then Montel was like, all right, yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be some shiesty shit in there, and it's probably going to be like, wait, why is my name on this list?
I think they're gonna let MJF be a part of the Hurt Syndicate, and like the contract is gonna be he has to be like the Hurt Syndicate's bitch.
Yeah, why would he sign that if Mark Sterling's gonna look it over?
They miss it. They miss it.
They reword it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Sterling's dumb.
He is kind of silly.
Yeah. So they had a segment. God damn, they had a segment that featured Nigel McGuinness.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Nigel McGuinness, FTR, Daniel Garcia fucking melodrama. We're getting a match at Double or Nothing, which I guess we'll preview that too.
Yeah.
But we're getting a match at Double or Nothing where it's FTR with a small Stokely Hathaway in their corner versus
because he's 2 feet tall
versus the team of Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. But in this specific promo,
I'm so sorry about that interruption. That is actually uncanny that just happened. I hope it caught the meow. It's still recording. It's still recording.
The cat is trying to end the podcast.
So Dee just jumped up on the couch and his tail, or his butt and his tail just hit the phone and knocked the phone off of the holder. I'm wondering if you heard the meow before the
yeah, because he meowed.
Sorry about that to headphone users. That's crazy.
Oh, you're okay, bud.
Aw.
You're okay. Anyway, Stokely comes out as Nigel's in the ring being interviewed, he's being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, right? Something like that.
I think it was Tony.
And Stokely goes, and I quote, "You think you can beat FTR? You barely beat hepatitis." I stood up. Because I was like, no fucking way did Stokely just say that. Because what the fuck?
Do you think Nigel thought it was funny?
Definitely. Definitely. But god damn, dude. I was like, holy fuck.
I love that they just do be saying shit on Dynamite. That's one of my favorite things about AEW is they get away with saying so much shit because they just don't give a fuck.
I recently saw a video. I think What Culture did it or something, but it was top 10 wildest lines from promos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is number 1. Nah, this ain't number 1. This is number 3.
Yeah.
They're Hulk Hogan, we coming for you is probably number 1.
Yeah.
Or Vince McMahon going to Booker T. What's up, ma? That's probably number 2. Cause there's also another one where I think they say the R word in reference to Eugene.
Yeah, but didn't MJF call Brian Pillman's mom Methany?
There's Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, I love to play with boys. There's if I can go back in time and make anyone tap out, I'd make Jesus tap out. There's bestiality sex. What's the other one? There's another one that's like so fucking offensive from him.
From Kurt?
Yeah, I'm trying to. There's
He was saying some weird ass fucking shit, man.
Bestiality sex. No, it was something to do with like Muhammad Hassan or some shit, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Bryce probably knows.
I was gonna say Bryce probably
knows.
fucking knows. Oh man.
I mean, no, I don't know. I just also like the unhinged ones of just like, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens.
We can't say it on here, but like, it's the bitch, but not it's that from that promo, but he's such a
oh yeah, well he's like, I'm not gonna say it because I can't.
All these bitches.
He goes, he is such a
yeah, he is such, and he says the F slur.
It's it's a word
it's a corn song.
Yeah,
it's a corn song.
He is such a British cigarette.
Yeah. There we go.
Like I don't know. I don't even know what promotion that was from.
I forget.
But man, that was crazy work.
There's one, since we're gonna be talking about conspiracy theories today. There's one where it's Cactus Jack from UWF, and he talks about the Twin Towers crumbling.
Oh my god!
And it's from like the 80s.
Yeah.
He's like, the towers are gonna crumble, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, no, that was fucking crazy. Like, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, like out of pocket fucking shit is funny.
Yeah, no, that's and this isn't like super out of pocket, but I think the Young Bucks just shared it on TikTok where it was like, oh yeah, remember this time that Kenny Omega read our book to a bunch of kindergartners, and like he's showing the cover to this class, and the one boy goes, are they in love? And Kenny Omega goes, well, it sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Not to
like what?
Not to kill kayfabe, but Chaos the Clown recently just did one that was so fucking funny. It's, if you go back and watch it, it's recently. It's the scene where I fucking lose my shit and I fucking I grab him like over the table, and afterwards, like after like I snap out on him and I leave, he goes, he made me act up, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy to say after someone just grabbed you and like almost had you over this table screaming at you.
I mean, wrestling's gay.
He made me act. I said something on commentary during the Chaos match on Mother's Day Massacre where I was like, I can't believe I'm cheering for Dab and Jay or some shit, because if you saw in the last episode, I almost kissed Chaos the Clown.
Oh wait, what about that other Hogan promo where it's, in the twilight of my career,
oh my God,
fine-tuned women and guitars turn me on, but now
my kids
turn me on, brother. What the fuck was that about? What the fuck was he talking about?
Bro, there's so many of them. I'm coming hard.
Real sports.
All bones do heals. I can do it like an elephant. Get on to like two men should.
Drop your favorite out-of-pocket promos, especially you, Bryce. I know you got some good ones in there.
I have another one is a Danny Dangerous one. Jacob Yeager, I'm coming. I want to feel you, Jacob Yeager.
Do you see this cat?
No, the fans don't see this cat. He's freaking the fuck out. Let him go. He's freaking out.
Buddy. You're fine. Go. Oh my god, I'm covered in hair.
Anyway, the show just fucking took a whole turn.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
This is what happens when we record at midnight 30.
So they had a cage match for the title.
Oh my god, yeah.
Jon Moxley.
Jesus Christ,
Jon Moxley and Samoa Joe.
We're still talking about AEW, that's right.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell the people, the fans,
sure,
the rules of a cage match?
Well, back in the day, back in, like, my day, you could win cage matches by pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage.
Over the cage or through the door.
Over the cage or through the door.
Both feet.
That's it.
Both feet
on the ground. Yeah.
And
that's it. No rules. I mean,
now, yeah, I was gonna say now, technically, are there rules in a cage match?
Well, no, it's a cage match. So like,
as in wrestling terms, rules as in, we can get in the ring. I can use the cage as a weapon.
You use the cage as a weapon. There's no DQ.
Or like, if I was in a cage match, the whole purpose of the cage is to keep things inside.
But if someone opened the door and gave you a weapon,
I was gonna say, if I have a Lyssie Vallow in my corner,
yeah,
you're gonna be a nuisance. Mm-hmm. You're gonna slide me a weapon. Or
like if someone was like on the outside of the ring and like grabbed your hair through the cage. Yeah. Wait, that's actually kind of cool. That's kind of hard. Yeah. Like someone's grabbed your hair and then, holds you there and whatnot. Now like also like, this was more of like, this was like a blood and guts thing, but it's still like a cage. So it kind of has like the same concept a bit. Jack Perry was like zip tied to the cage and then almost lit on fire and then a chair thrown at his head. Like, like things like that can happen. But like, that's like a cage match.
But let's just say a cage match, make it simple here for maybe people that like, want it simplified. Cage match knows a qualification match technically.
Yeah, no DQ match. Anything goes pretty much.
And now in a no DQ match, there's no rope breaks, no count out, no rope breaks, no count, no rope breaks, no count outs, no rope breaks, no count outs.
No, and like no especially with like a count out, because like you get out of the cage, your feet touch the ground, like can't be counted out for that. You win the match. Yeah. And then rope break, it's you have to. Like a submission, of course, like in a regular match, yeah, if someone grabs the ropes and has a rope break, then yeah, like that is what it is, but it's a no DQ match, and in no DQ matches, there's no like rope breaks or something like that.
So can you explain to me, and maybe these people, why the fuck was there a rope break in this cage match?
Well, see.
What the fuck?
The thing about AEW that I love is the inconsistencies.
Yeah, what the fuck was this?
Because I don't understand how this happened. Now, I thought, because I was watching this without Dylan, and I was watching this, and I thought maybe I misunderstood the rules of a cage match, because I saw the rope break happen, and I was like, there shouldn't be a rope break in a cage match, but I was like, maybe I'm stupid, because like, sometimes with some wrestling stuff, like, I'm not really good at remembering everything, so like, certain matches, I might fuck up, like, that shouldn't have happened, and Dylan was like, oh, no, that can happen. Or like another one that I'm really bad with is wrestling move names. I can never remember the names of moves. So you know what I mean? Like I might know what the move is, but I couldn't tell you the name of it. I could describe it to you, don't know what it is. So I thought maybe it was one of those situations where I was like, okay, well, maybe. And then the crowd started like getting rowdy and booing, and I was like, oh, well, it was Jon Moxley that grabbed the rope, so that kind of makes sense. But I don't know, something felt weird about that. I feel like that shouldn't have happened. And then Dylan came home and was watching it, and I was like, yeah, there's something weird that happens in this match. I was like, what are the rules of a cage match? And he told me, and I was like, so like, there's no like rope breaks. I
literally
did
the same thing Lyssie did to me. Like, well, I just did to Lyssie, like on the podcast just moments ago. Like, you did the same thing.
And I was like, so there's no rope breaks or anything like that in a cage match. And he goes, no. And I was like, okay, so watch the cage match. Because what the fuck? Why did that happen? I don't understand.
Yeah, like what the fuck? I don't. Anyway, I'm trying to. So Gabe Kipp showed up. That's what it was.
Yeah, he slid the briefcase.
Little Jon Moxley showed up.
Little Jon Moxley, I think, slid the briefcase through the cage door, which is allowed, but a rope break isn't. So yeah, that Excuse me, what are you crying about?
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. And then I don't know who in their right mind decided to give Matthew Jackson technology. But my boys walked out.
This was so fucking funny.
It was. It was really funny. So the Bucks walked out.
But like good heel, old school heel something.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So the Bucks walked out, and Matt has like this thing that at first I thought was like, for whatever reason, a nod to Paul Heyman, because it looked like one of those old school phones that Paul Heyman used to carry, those big brick cell phones. And no, it was the control panel to the cage. So Kenny's out there beating some ass. The Bucks come out and they throw Kenny in the cage and they drop the cage down and they start beating him up and everything. And then Swerve comes out, gets to the top of the cage and jumps off of it. And then Matt still has the control panel in his hand and just starts panicking and button mashing the fucking control arm to like get the cage to go up, and then they like run out and whatnot. And then we were told about Anarchy in the Arena, which for the first time since its inception in AEW is going to feature women. It's gonna be mixed gender. So so Marina Shafir and Willow Nightingale are gonna be in Anarchy in the Arena, which is really fucking cool. Cause first of all,
yeah, did we have like the official? Like, I don't have the official participants here.
I mean, Swerve said you guys and gal, and then us guys and gal.
So it's
Anarchy in the Arena.
It's Death Riders and the Elite,
mm-hmm.
minus Jack Perry because he's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okada gonna be in the thing? Was Okada there?
Okada was there, but I think Okada was chased off by Speedball.
I would figure Okada would be in this if Kenny's in this.
Well, Okada might have this weird thing going on with Speedball, unless Speedball's also involved in it. That wasn't necessarily very clear.
Yeah, because now it's like Team Swerve, Kenny,
Team Kenny versus Team Buckaroonies.
Yeah.
Or Team Okada, whichever you want to say it. But it's Death Riders and the Bucks, and then we got Kenny, we got Swerve, we got Willow, we have who else?
The Ops.
And maybe Speedball.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, because he seemed involved in this with Okada. I'm not sure. So it's either going to be Okada and Speedball in this, or Okada and Speedball are doing something separate. I don't really know.
Who wins this match?
I think the Bucks team has to win this, because I think Jack Perry's coming back and causing some mayhem.
The death elite, the Elite Riders.
Yeah,
Elite Riders.
The Golden Elite Riders or something, or whatever we called. I don't remember what the fuck I said.
Club Riders. Oh, Gabe Kidd will be in this match too, probably.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I think, not to sound delulu, I think Perry comes back.
Probably. I
think this is where Perry comes back. And I think he causes a little bit of mayhem and the Elite win. Meow! She agrees.
That's what she said.
What's your problem?
Moving on really quick. AEW had their other show, Saturday Night Collision on TNT Max. Mm-hmm. For some strange reason. I just want to talk about this quick.
Okay.
For some strange reason, they were like, "Fuck it, fuck this show."
Yeah.
And it just ended.
Did it ever pick back up?
Yeah, you can watch it on Max now.
Okay.
But it was available like today. Like they made it available like today. But like,
what happened?
I don't know. Tony says something with like the service or some shit. But it was just wild of like what it just fucking cut off.
Yeah. The one person that I follow on Twitter, I guess what had happened was something with Yuta, and then it just cut off, and she was like, "Is Yuta dead?" She's like, "Did Yuta die and they have to cut the stream? What happened?" And she was like, "Wheeler Yuta, I need you to respond to this so I know that you're not dead, because somebody I know, not me, is very concerned that you're dead. Again, not me."
God. What the fuck?
I was like, I don't think Wheeler Yuta's dead.
Anyway, let's talk about Double or Nothing. That's happening this week. Double or Nothing. Oh yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. Crazy. Anyway, we got some matches and stuff. In the Owen Hart's Foundation Cup Tournament Final for the men's, the winner earns an AEW World Championship match at Y'all In. We got the Hangman Adam Page versus the Will Ospreay. It's probably going to be Will Ospreay, but I would like Hangman to win. Call me crazy.
I'm fine with either of them winning. Of course, I'm going to have a preference to Hanger.
I'm actually excited to see the match more than anything.
This match is going to be so good. It's going to be so good.
Like I said last week.
This match is gonna fuck so hard.
Anyway, wait. So who are you picking?
I'm happy with either. I think realistically it's gonna be Osprey.
Okay.
But I want Hangman more. But I'm fine with Osprey.
We got in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup Tournament Final, winner earns AEW Women's World Championship at Yall-In. We got Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. Mercedes.
I think it's going to be Mercedes, but I would be much happier with Jamie because we still have the unfinished story with Jamie and Tony.
It's going to be Mercedes. Anyway, for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, because the tag team division is fucking dead, we got the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. Which is...
Who is that?
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
The Sons... Is Sammy from Texas?
I think so.
Dustin's not from Texas.
Yeah, he is.
Georgia.
He's from Texas.
Is he?
Yes.
Why is Cody from Georgia?
Well, that's a cool conspiracy theory we're going to talk about later, funny enough. Do you not realize how...
I know how old Dustin is.
Like, how much in age? Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, I mean, he could live in Texas, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Wait.
Dustin's always been built from Texas. Cody is built from Georgia because of fucking Jim Crockett Promotions.
Is Cody Rhodes from Texas?
No.
Was Dusty Rhodes from Texas?
Where was Dusty built from? I think Dusty was built from Texas.
Really?
Yeah, hold on.
If you hear me kissing, I'm kissing Lita.
I mean, Dusty Rhodes was born in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
He died in Florida. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was born in North Carolina.
What?
He was never built from anything featuring Texas. Always Georgia.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, Dustin Rhodes was born in Dallas, Texas.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway.
The Hurt Syndicate's winning.
Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate.
Anyway. Singles match for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa.
Toni
Storm.
Yeah.
In a tag team match, FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness.
I mean, I think FTR is winning this.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Nigel.
Nigel probably will take the pin.
Yeah.
Because, like, fuck it. But I'm excited to see Nigel wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And in a stretcher match, Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet.
Let's go.
What a match.
All right.
Mark Briscoe, because fuck Ricochet.
Yeah. I like to see Mark Briscoe win this one.
Okay, that's all that there is pretty much announced for Double or Nothing. We'll get like 7 more matches announced later on during the week.
Wasn't Anarchy in the Arenas also going to be Double or Nothing? So, and we already gave our points on that, but
yeah. Okay. Let's get into the main fucking topic of this podcast now.
Yeah.
We got a couple to talk about. Wrestling conspiracy theories. There's some that like are really obvious ones that we can talk about, but like out of respect of like subject matter, I guess would be the best way. It's like stupid to talk about.
Yeah.
Like there is certain ones that we are going to talk about. Like there's certain ones subject matter that we are like, heads up, we're going to talk about the Benoit stuff. But I'm not talking about the stupid, oh, did someone set up Owen's death? I'm not talking about like stuff like that. We're not going to talk about stuff like that. That's stupid shit. But let's talk about a fucking one that still is talked about to this day. Was the Montreal Screwjob a work? Were they in on it?
No.
Were they weren't in on it to you?
I don't think so, because I think genuinely Brett hated Vince. Brett hated Shawn. Brett was planning to leave, but fuck WWE.
They needed a way to get the belt off of Brett.
They need a way to get the belt off the Brett.
Because Brett...
The Brett's off the belt.
Because Brett didn't want to do the job that night, and he kept saying he would do it like the other night, or like the next night,
he didn't want
to
lose in Canada.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose in Canada was the whole point, and then they booked it.
But yeah, no, I don't think that they were in on this. I think that Brett would have been perfectly fine and happy if he left the company with the belt, but also the fact that he stated he would have been fine with it any other time. They just didn't want to wait, and they really just fucking hated Brett. So.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. Yeah, they needed to get the belt off of Brett because they fucking... I mean, I don't blame them. They need to get the belt off of Brett. But I also blame them because, like, they could have waited.
Yeah.
But I understand them not wanting to wait. But I think... I think if Brett knew about this, it would have been handled differently. That's the whole thing. If this was a work, if all of this was a work, it would have been handled differently. It's a cool conspiracy in hindsight, though.
Yeah.
To think about it, of like, were they in on this because Brett wanted to get out and go to WCW, and like they knew like, oh, this will fucking gain buzz and all of this shit.
Yeah.
It is a cool concept. All right. Let's just rip the Band-Aid right off. Fucking a big one. Big controversial one. I am so sorry to everyone that I'm about to talk about. Did Kevin Sullivan murder Chris Benoit and his family? Did he do it, Lyssie?
I want to say decisively no. However, I had heard that there is evidence that does not line up accordingly. I've never seen it. But I would, as someone who is very much into true crime and this type of stuff, I would like to see the evidence that people are saying doesn't line up as to what could have caused this. However, I do think it would be pretty excessive for people being like, oh, well, yeah, they just came out with the CTE thing to try and take the blame off Kevin Sullivan. Where, first of all, like, that would have been something that WWE probably would have been trying to do, I feel like. And WWE was very against the whole CTE diagnosis for a long time. And were just like, and a lot of people were, where they were just like, that's not a thing, that's not a thing. But when they actually did scans of his fucking brain, it was the brain of like an 80-year-old man. Like, it was mush, basically.
For people that may not know, like, understand why this is a conspiracy, Chris Benoit was married to Kevin Sullivan's ex-wife. Kevin Sullivan and Benoit back in the day were in WCW. Kevin Sullivan was the booker, and there's this common thing of, did Kevin Sullivan book himself into a shoot? Did he work himself into a shoot? As in, Nancy Benoit was a manager. And she thought teaming Nancy with Chris would be a good pairing for like TV and stuff. So Kevin was like, go with Chris, and like they have to keep kayfabe. So they have to travel together. She's got to act like Chris's manager. They always got to be together. Everything. Well, you can probably imagine when a guy and a girl get together.
In the wrestling world.
Things fucking happen. So, what's even funny about this, they fucking had like a whole program in WCW. Mm-hmm. Like, they worked together and all that. But, like, there's that common thing of, like, did Kevin Sullivan fucking set it up? Because if you've been living under a rock and you don't know the Benoit thing, Chris Benoit killed his wife, Nancy, and his son, Daniel, and then himself. In the span of a day.
Yeah.
Or a couple days, actually. I believe it wasn't.
No,
the
I
next
think
day.
it was technically within a 24-hour
It
period.
was within the next day?
Because he
Okay.
killed his wife and his son.
And then the next
that
day,
night.
Yeah.
He woke up, did something in the morning. Not to sound disrespectful or anything, but I think it was quite literally like he woke up, the bodies were still in the house. He ate food.
I think
like he made breakfast.
I think he went to like the gym. He went like
to the gym.
He went like on his day.
Yeah, or like I don't know if he had a home gym or whatever, because he like killed himself using his weight machine.
You can go watch Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Yeah. So I don't know if like he went to his home gym, worked out, whatever, but like he did stuff. He woke up, did stuff during the day, and like then just killed himself. So it was within a 24-hour period.
Yeah, but like there is this conspiracy of, did Kevin Sullivan do it? Because like, I mean, they were all found dead and stuff. So I understand where the conspiracy comes from, but I think we can debunk this.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see the evidence where people are saying that it's like different and paints a different picture, because I want to see that perspective of it. But realistically speaking, no. No.
I mean, these are all, the thing is, like, conspiracy, like, we're not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're debunking this or this is real or anything. It doesn't really fucking matter. That's the whole point of a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no.
It's up to your own
I just
opinion.
don't want to really play too much into this one.
There is certain touchy ones, yeah.
You know what's crazy is, I know I told this story a while ago, but we're going to retell this story. My brother talked to Chris Benoit on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, literally maybe like a year or two, I think, before this happened.
Bro, Chris Benoit is just, every time, it's just crazy.
Yeah. My brother won a contest, like a local contest, because WWE was going to be in the area. And well, technically I think my mom won it, and then she gave the phone to my brother, where it was like, you got a phone call with Chris Benoit. And my brother like sat and talked on the phone with Chris Benoit for like, I don't know, however long it was. And then he actually made a sign that's still on, you can still find it on the internet. Probably.
You can go watch on WWE Vault, because they uploaded it a few days ago, CM Punk's debut match against Val Venus from Heat.
Mm-hmm.
That's in our hometown arena.
Mm-hmm.
And you can probably see, I'm sure Vinny is probably fucking holding the sign.
Yeah. So my brother has this, I
That
think it was a
one.
bright neon green sign.
I'm sure he's
that
probably
says,
holding the
I'm
sign.
Vinny and
man.
I talked to Benoit. There's
insane.
a promo between Triple H and Batista.
Go back to like our early episode too.
Yeah, and
our early episode.
There's a picture where my brother's standing in the middle. I think he's like 9 or something when this happened. Like, this was 2005, I think. And when did Benoit?
07.
07. So yeah, this was 2 years before. Like, this was 2005. My brother, right there, 9 years old. Crazy.
All right, moving on to the next conspiracy. This might be one of Lissy's favorite conspiracies. Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon were lovers back in the 90s.
I never heard this one.
You never?
I never heard this one.
To explain it to you, because you pretty much know. Anyway, Shawn Michaels was like the guy in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
He got away with a lot in WWF. There is a common conspiracy that him and Vince were lovers, because, you know, it's Vince and it's Shawn, and Shawn was always on top.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, who would be the top in this one?
I'm not answering that question of the old man Yowie. No, that's incorrect, because it was Triple H and Shawn. So
Yeah, 'cause they were kissing on the mouth.
I don't think Shawn would have been cheating on Triple H. So I don't believe this one, simply because I think that, well, Shawn might have been like a playboy with some girls. I don't think he would do his best friend like that.
Oh,
he would do his best friend in a different way.
Yeah, he was a playboy, all right.
And I don't think he'd be cheating on Hunter over here. You know what I mean?
Hey, nothing shocks me with Vince anymore, though.
Yeah, no. I don't necessarily think that if anything like this came out, though, to be truth, it would have been a consensual lovers' quarrel. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I could see Vince McMahon calling gay people the F slur, so I don't think that he'd be very interested in having relations with Shawn Michaels.
Moving on, there was 2 Randy Savage ones that I could have talked about, but one's kind of dark, and I didn't want to go that route. It involves him and a young Stephanie McMahon. You can probably guess where I'm going with that, so we're not going to go that route. We're going to go another route, and that is Randy Savage punching Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 9, giving Hulk Hogan the black eye.
I believe this because when I
believe it 100%.
When I heard the jet ski incident,
it's
that
insane.
Seems so far-fetched.
It's insane, right?
So far-fetched to have happened that, I think it was just Randy Savage.
I believe it.
I think someone punched him, whether it was Randy Savage or not.
Go listen to fucking Be a Man.
Yeah.
He fucking hates Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, no, that jet ski incident where he's like, yeah, brother, I was jet skiing out on the beach night before WrestleMania 9, brother, and you'll never guess. This wave, it took me under, brother, and I saw Jesus in the light reaching for me, brother. But the next thing I know, I'm washed up to shore with black eye, busted veins in my face, brother, and I knew, well, the show's gotta go on. I gotta get to WrestleMania, brother. And then, I think he just got into a backstage fight. But he's Hulk Hogan, so it has to be immaculate. It has to be something so fucking uncanny that's like, wow, I can't believe Hulk Hogan broke half of his face in half and still wrestled a match at WrestleMania.
Benjamin Shelton.
Give me a fucking break.
Anyway, I guess I'll let Lyssie pop off for 30 minutes on this one. CM Punk purposely getting fired from AEW.
Yes.
A new conspiracy, more recent conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk wanted to return. The whole conspiracy is CM Punk wanted to return to wrestling, but obviously wanted to go to WWE. Now, at the time where he got the wrestling bug again, it was 2021. Vince was still there. So he's going to go to Tony Khan. He went to AEW. Because listen, there's the conspiracy that he went to AEW to take 1, the pay. 2, he knew that he would get treated like a fucking god. Compared to how he would have been treated like how he's being treated now in WWE, like a god. But don't forget how big it was. This was like AEW's biggest mainstream moment. So that conspiracy is he as CM Punk, big fish, little pond. That's what it was.
Well,
and then obviously the whole thing of like, well, he got what he wanted. Now he just wants to get out of it. So now he needs to think of a way to get out of it and destroy the company. Go to WWE.
No. Yes, but no.
Because Vince isn't there and Triple H is in charge and he's able to coexist with Triple H over Vince.
So here's the thing, right? I think that's slightly far-fetched. Because, and this is going to sound crazy coming from me, I think that makes CM Punk look way too egotistical.
Yeah.
So
come on.
I think what happened was CM Punk wanted to go back into wrestling. He didn't want to go back to WWE because Vince was there. I think that's still for certain. Yeah. I don't think he was necessarily ever opposed to going back, but I don't think he had the desire to go back. And we have to remember, back in 2021, when CM Punk came back to wrestling, there was no word of Vince ever leaving.
No.
There was nothing coming up of where we knew Vince was going to leave. So for Punk to go back to wrestling and to go to AEW, for the simple fact of I want my name value to really showcase of how much WWE should want me, and that's why they should bring me back, is far-fetched. Just for the simple fact of we didn't know what was going to go on with Vince was going to go on with Vince as soon as it did. There's no way Punk knew about that unless he literally was also a part of this whole lawsuit situation, knew what was going on behind the scenes, and was timing things you know what I mean? That's really insane.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. So I think Punk went back to wrestling because he wanted to go back to wrestling. He saw AEW rising up into the ranks. It seemed like something he felt like he could really get behind, especially with the way that the company handled a lot of things, like the thing with Brody Lee. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, this is a really big promotion. It's making waves, and who better to go into this company than someone whose career is built off of making waves? This is like a match made in heaven. Got there, things were great, and then started realizing maybe things aren't all of what they seem to be in the backstage, and maybe backstage-wise this isn't a good fit for me. Maybe, well, yeah, we're making some waves, there's just not enough, there's not enough balance in this that's really gonna work out for me. And then
Tony's a clown.
Well, and then the
Fire
whole
me.
backstage brawl happened, because he was mad at Hangman, and then the Bucks were like, don't talk about our friend like that. And then Punk was like, what are you gonna do? Hit me? And then they got into a fight. And then Punk was suspended and was also injured anyway. And then Punk was probably like, I don't know about all this. Tony made Collision. He's like, that's not gonna really work. And I'm sure things backstage probably weren't orchestrated as well as he wanted to. And I do believe that Punk was trying to get fired. I firmly believe
there's the whole thing. He went to a Raw taping that one time.
Yeah, and I don't think he did that to intentionally get fired, because
that was just him sending out feelers.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I think he wanted to see exactly what was going on there for when he did go back. But I don't think that was a fact of him trying to intentionally get fired. I do just think that there was probably some stuff going on backstage he was trying to act, trying to push, whatever type of way. And inherently made him kind of look like a fucking jackass. Because I don't think Tony would have let him out of the contract at all. But also I think Punk could have probably went around about things a completely different way. And I think he really just kind of took what he had seen and kind of ran with it. So with the whole Jack Perry thing, with the whole limo real glass thing, I genuinely, and look, I don't know Perry. I wish I did. I don't know Jack at all, but I really find it hard to believe that Jack Perry would be screaming, crying, pissing, throwing up at Tony Schiavone over a glass spot, especially when AEW has done like the parking lot brawls, where they have done bumps onto windshields and shit, and they've done crazy fucking shit. To me, that seems a little far-fetched and a bit outlandish. I think probably what happened was, and also the whole thing about it being a rental car, I feel like is complete bullshit. I think Tony makes more than enough money to just get fucking junk cars and fucking do it with. You know, I don't think they were gonna use a rental. I don't think they're that fucking stupid.
Yeah, you never know.
But I mean, again, Tony's a billionaire. He could have just paid it off, so who really fucking cares? If Tony's willing to pay the money, Tony's willing to pay the money. So realistically, who the fuck cares? But the point is, they've done shit like this before. And I think what happened was maybe Jack was like, I'm thinking about doing this spot. What do you think of this spot? And Punk was probably like, I think you're fucking stupid for doing that spot. And Perry's probably like, well, why? We've done this before. And he's like, real glass is fucking stupid to use. You should use fucking breakaway glass. And he's like, dude, if I want to get hit with real glass, I want to get hit with real glass. Like, what's the fucking big deal or whatever? They probably got into a little bit of a quarrel. I don't think he fucking cursed out Tony Schiavone. That seems fucking ridiculous. And I think Punk took that and he just fucking ran with it. And then he decided to just beat the shit out of Jack Perry. Now, we could, which, by the way, there was the whole thing where Punk basically had to stay out of trouble for 6 months in order to work a program with the Elite. And I'm sure there was probably some shit going on there as to he probably needed to stay out of trouble, because I guarantee you he started the fight with the Elite. And he knew if he just fucking swung on someone, he probably was going to be able to get out of it. Now, contrary theory that I'd like to give to you, what if Perry was in on it? What if
they don't have an issue at all, and it was just,
they don't,
and it was just Punk, and it was Punk being like, yo,
what if Punk's like, hey,
because
I want to get fired, and I think that you causing beef with me, a big name, is going to do something or another for you.
Yeah, we'll give you a rub.
We'll give you a rub.
And he also knew, like, maybe like, we don't know Jack Perry personally.
I wish I did.
Okay, calm down. Fucking chill. We don't know Jack Perry personally, but he is boys with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, he always has been.
And like, there's the heat there with Punk and the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe Perry's like, maybe Perry is a cool guy. Where he's like, maybe he's not an idiot. But like, maybe his like thing with the whole thing was like, yo, Phil, man, whatever you got with Maddie and Nikki, that's between you guys. We cool. My dad's Luke Perry. You're Phil Brooks. We cool. Whatever. Like, I'll still listen to you and stuff like that. And like, maybe like the whole thing was Punk, like you were saying, like Punk just being like, yo, I want to get fucking fired.
Like what
and like he's friends with the Bucks, so like what if like I get him in on it and like it'll kind of be realistic.
Yeah. What if he saw Perry struggling with his heel heat, because Hollywood Jack was something. It's iconic, but it was not good. And he was like, all right, how about we just get you some heat to begin with? And you can just work off of that, because you're not really getting the heat right now because you were Jungle Boy and you're not really doing a great job as a heel. And so how about we just make people organically hate you? And
it can also kind of be like a Punk thing. Him also Punk, knowing Punk, not knowing him personally. I wish. Calm down, I know, but like maybe his thought process. But maybe this is also me, because this is some shit I would do. You can't say I didn't put the young talent over on the way out. Because he didn't get the really he fucking beat Samoa Joe on his way out.
Yeah. No, honestly, I do think Punk was trying to get fired.
Yeah.
I 100% think Punk was trying to get fired because he knew that Tony wasn't going to let him out of the contract.
And he just wanted
realistically,
to wrestle.
I don't think him and Jack were in on it, but it is fun to think.
It is funny to think.
It's funny to think about
what
that.
What if they were?
What if they were? You know what I mean? But I don't think that they were. I think that Jack did make a little silly comment, but iconic, and it really did help get him over as a heel, I feel like, because the people that really didn't want Punk in AEW fucking love Perry, and the people that really want Punk in AEW fucking hate Perry.
Yeah.
And I think it really serves for a good dynamic for him. And he's taken it and he's ran with it. He's done such a good fucking job now. He still has, a couple things he's got to work on, but dude's only 27. You know what I mean? He's been wrestling for about 20 years now. About 18 years, I think, because he started wrestling when he was 9. But, he never really talked, so he's got to work on that a little bit more. But overall, he's doing a lot better. And he's with the Bucks. The Bucks are good veterans for him to be around.
Anyway, moving on to the next conspiracy. And that is Vince McMahon sending Vince Russo to WCW to kill it. Because Russo, the story goes, the actual legit story is Russo was head writer for WWF, height of Attitude Era, the peak of it, ratings, money, all of that shit. And in like literally the middle of the night, he was like, fuck this. I'm leaving. Because SmackDown was becoming a show. He had to write 2 shows, wasn't getting paid enough. He pretty much said, fuck this. He went to WCW, and, well, he Russified it.
I think.
And now the conspiracy is, did Vince purposely send Vince to WCW to kill it?
No. I think Russo's a one-hit wonder. And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Russo's a one-hit wonder. I don't think he was sent to kill WCW.
Everyone always goes, yes, I think Vince. Everyone always says, yes, no. I think Vince sent Russo to kill it.
No.
So this is different. I like this.
Genuinely, I think Vince Russo's a fucking idiot who had one good fucking idea. He had one good idea. Because tell me the next time Vince Russo had a good idea. You can't. He didn't. So I think he was a one-hit wonder. And I think with the way that the money that WWE had and the way that WWE was producing things, worked out better than the way that it was produced in WCW. And I think there was also too many hands in the bucket for what Russo did in WWE to work in WCW.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think Vince had to send Russo to do it at all. I think Vince just saw it coming and was like, let him.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Vince didn't fucking, I can't believe I'm like, I don't, not to talk good about the man at all. He's a piece of shit. But like, that's why Vince didn't ever really attempt to buy WCW beforehand. He'd let it fucking die and then bought it for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think...
Smart businessman.
I think Russo had one good idea that was able to be well produced with minds that at the time were able to achieve that vision in a, well, it was over the top, still more of an organic way. Whereas WCW, Vince Russo tried to replicate it. It didn't work because there was too many fucking mouths that were too busy talking over each other. And you could tell just by the way of the production, by the way of the show and how it runs and how it works, that there's too many different ideas going on at once. And it just didn't work out as well as it needed to. And Vince Russo, being the genius man he is, just genuinely was trying anything to be different. And he didn't care if it was good or not. It just had to be out there and had to be attempted. And don't get me wrong, you can have stupid fucking ideas and be like, that didn't really work out the way we wanted it to. Whoops-a-daisy, not doing that again, and move on from it. He never moved on from the whoops-a-daisy. He just said, oh, that didn't work. Let's try the next stupid idea in my 1,001 hold fucking list that I have written here.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't work. Again, I just think that he was never actually a good writer. I think he had a solid foundation and people backing him to be able to make that vision a reality. But when you put his ideas with someone who not only doesn't have that ability to make the vision a reality, but also you have 10,000 other people putting their input into it and muddling up the idea. And when the idea is not that fucking good to begin with, like a fucking 3-tiered metal cake as a fucking cage, and everyone's just like, yeah, sure, why not? Anything to pop a rating. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. There was no, like, everyone wants to say in AEW, there's no one there to tell Tony no, or Tony's not telling his fucking talent no. There was no one to tell Russo no. Russo was the booker guy. He was the writer guy. Not the booker guy, the writer guy.
No, chill out. Working for WWF, yeah, there was someone to tell him no.
Not in WCW.
Yeah.
That's my point. There was nobody in WCW to just tell him your ideas are fucking stupid.
There was, but when I say the name, you're going to be like, well, it was Bischoff.
Well, yeah, and then it gets convoluted, and then they try to do something else, and they try to do this, and it just doesn't work.
Bischoff was the one that was able to say no.
Even if Russo came up with a good idea, which anything that you watch in WCW when Russo was there was not a good idea, but even if he did come up with a good idea, it would have gotten fucked up. 100%. There was no way of making it work. And I don't think that it was Vince sending him over to do it. I just think Russo really was too big for his fucking bridges, thinking he was hot fucking shit, and he wasn't. You could tell he thought he was hot fucking shit for the way that he was inserting himself into fucking storylines and putting the belt on himself.
The best WCW champion, Vince Russo.
I think wrestling will be better when Vince Russo's 6 feet under, but...
Thank you for choosing the right vocabulary. Anyway, moving on. This goes for 2 people, technically, because the stories are the same, pretty much. Edge and or Daniel Bryan, their retirements were faked. Because, well, this is how it goes. So Edge and or Daniel Bryan were both forced to retire.
Sure.
Pretty much similar, same things, neck injuries. Edge was more of a neck injury, Daniel Bryan was more concussions. And neck injury. They were both forced to retire. Edge was forced to retire at it came out of nowhere. Daniel Bryan at the time, it was peak Daniel Bryan. He was over as fuck. Daniel Bryan came out of retirement, and then Edge came out of retirement. Daniel Bryan no longer wrestles now. Edge still wrestles.
Part-time, but yeah.
Yeah. But the story pretty much goes is... this is more so Daniel Bryan's story, is he was forced to retire because he was so over that they did not know what how to fuck to handle it. Like he was so over it, and it was Vince and all that. And now this is for both of them. They both were able to come out of retirement because their contracts were coming up in WWE, and Vince did not want them to go wrestle elsewhere because they would have been cleared to wrestle elsewhere.
That's incorrect. Edge was wrestling in WWE.
Yeah.
Edge was wrestling in WWE when his contract expired.
Yep.
So he was cleared by WWE doctors.
Yep. Well, so was Daniel Bryan.
No. Daniel Bryan wasn't wrestling in WWE when he came back from when he went to AEW.
Yes, he did. Let's see. Daniel Bryan retired, and then he fucking he wrestled Edge at Mania, bro, against Roman.
Did he?
Yeah, Remember
when I said I wasn't a Daniel Bryan fan?
Daniel Bryan came back in 2018.
Remember when I said I wasn't a Daniel Bryan fan?
He came back in 2018.
I didn't pay attention to jack shit he fucking did.
He came back in 2018.
Okay, well then that completely debunks both fucking theories then. Yeah, no, they both were cleared.
But Vince wanted to keep them out. Keep them out from going to other companies.
Okay, and what were they going to do with Daniel Bryan after his hype died down? What were they going to do with Edge after his hype died down?
Well, no, the Edge and hype thing didn't matter. The hype thing is the Daniel Bryan thing. It's just the Edge thing kind of lines up with this.
I don't think that they were forced to retire in the aspect of they were too over or because of other talent coming in like Roman. I think that they did actually legitimately have some injuries, and at the time maybe modern medicine wasn't as up to date as it should have been.
Yeah.
And modern medicine has expanded, and they were able to get more treatment, I guess is a better way of putting it. And then they were able to be cleared. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I buy this one.
Segueing into a similar one. Shawn Michaels never got injured in 1998 and had to take 4 years off.
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Do you know the whole conspiracy of this?
It's because he didn't want to drop the belt, right? Or
well, yeah, but do you know the fake injury, why he was in
his back?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, he actually wasn't injured, and Vince just did not want to deal with him, so he just paid him because if he let him go, he was going to go to WCW because that's where Hall and Nash were, his friends.
Yeah.
So Vince just fucking kept him, and also he had a drug problem and stuff.
Yeah.
And all of that, but yeah, the thing is, he got injured in the casket match, and then he dropped the belt to Austin.
Yeah.
And stuff, and then that was it. He pieced out and didn't have a match until 2002. So,
yeah, I believe this one.
So you believe that he was actually not injured at all, as injured as all? He probably had injuries, but
I think he had other fucked up shit going on
there
in
was
his
definitely
life.
definitely not worth a 4-year break, maybe?
No. I think that, now granted, again, back in the 90s and early 2000s, modern medicine wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
But I think that he had a bunch of fucking shit going on. He was off his fucking rocker, and he was constantly causing issues. And Vince was probably like, all right, dude, I want you around here, but I can't deal with you right now, and you need to get your fucking shit sorted.
Because they were lovers.
No.
And they were roommates.
And they were roommates. I think he was like, I can't deal with your fucking shit. You need to go get your shit sorted out. You still have a job here. I'm paying you, but you need to go get your shit fucking sorted out, and once you do, come back.
Daddy will be right here.
Ew. Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about back injuries, but I've seen the spot where Shawn gets injured, allegedly, and I'm not buying it.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't buy it.
Interesting.
And I'll take that one to my grave.
It's a cool conspiracy because it's part of me does believe it, and then part of me doesn't believe it. Because when you bring up yeah, like Vince didn't fucking want him going the WCW. And like, yeah, especially like in '98. Yeah, they were really hot then. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he probably didn't want that. But like, also at the same time, it's like, why would Shawn go to WCW when Brett's there? Because Brett was already there.
Yeah.
So like, there's also that too, where I'm trying to think. But like, also Shawn, like, I don't think Shawn would have fucking cared, and Eric Bischoff, well, he's an idiot, but like, probably would have kept them separated. But Eric Bischoff would have been like, "Nah, I'm doing Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels
And a
at
Viagra
fucking
match.
at fucking Starrcade." Here we go. Yeah. Last conspiracy, since this was kind of like weirdly teased, I guess. Dustin Rhodes is Cody's father.
What is the theory of this?
Dustin is the father of Cody because, like, Dustin and Cody are so far apart in age that they're brothers, yes, but like, Dusty was always closer to Dustin than Cody.
Well, he was the favorite.
So that's why it's like Dustin is actually Cody's father, but Dusty just covered up for it because he just wanted Dustin to worry about like wrestling and stuff.
I mean, it's possible. There was this girl that I went to high school with that had a kid when she was like a sophomore, and for the longest time, they just said that her mom was the kid's son. Which was really weird. So like, I know that stuff kind of happens, but I don't know. That's like a tough one, because like, I get it that like, yeah, sure, maybe, but to me there's not enough backing on this. Like, oh, he was closer to this son than this son. Well, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that happens. You know what I mean? But we also don't know the family's history behind the scenes. You know, there's not enough where it's just like,
I don't think it's,
I don't know, like,
real.
you'd be like, oh yeah, in the baby pictures in the hospital, Dusty Rhodes wasn't there, but Dustin was. There's not enough backing of this where it's just like,
yeah, I think Dusty is Cody's dad.
Yeah.
I just, when I hear this one, I saw it pop up and I was like, that's actually a funny one to talk about.
It is. It's kind of funny to think about,
It's a
but
funny talk one.
no, sometimes people are just have a big age difference in their siblings. Like, I've known of some people who are in their 20s and they have have like a sister that's like 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Hold on. What is the age gap here?
It's got to be like at least 25 or 30 years. It has to be.
Dustin Rhodes, 56.
Cody's in his 30s, I think.
Cody Rhodes, 39. So 17 years.
Yeah, okay, that's actually not as much as I thought.
But I mean, that is possible. Of like, you know, he got. That's what it is. If you think about it, like he got pregnant.
Yeah,
he got the girl pregnant at a young age, and Dusty was like, "Come here, baby. He gonna be my son. You gonna worry about the wrestling." I can't do a Dusty impression.
I don't believe this one for a second.
He's just a common man. I'm a pizza man. You can beat my prices, but you sure can't beat my meat. Anyway. Those were Wrestling Conspiracy Theories Volume 1.
Sure.
Stay tuned for Volume 2 whenever we decide to do this in 60 episodes, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
Pull up the Instagram, because I want to see if the wrestler that I'm thinking of at the moment we've talked about.
Talking wrestling. Yep, okay. I was like, is that the right Instagram? It is. Yeah,
but it is my week to pick.
Lyssie gets to pick Wrestler of the Week this week and technically next week. Because I told Lyssie that Lyssie gets to pick 2 weeks in a row. Because I picked Sabu last week. And it was technically a Lyssie pick.
So we haven't talked about this wrestler yet.
I'm interested where we're going with
Why I've thought about this specific wrestler, could not tell you. Honestly, don't know why. I'm just double checking to make sure I did not miss this wrestler. But no, we have not talked about them. So we're going to talk about them. Why? I don't know. Let's talk about Randy Orton.
He's so soft.
Let's not talk about Randy Orton. Because what the fuck?
Anyway, that's a Jacob Yeager inside joke. Anyway, Randall Keith Orton.
Yeah.
RKO.
Yeah. Why not?
Why are we talking about the snake, man?
I don't know. I was just thinking off the top of my head, god damn, who the fuck can we talk about?
Okay.
Who haven't we talked about? And initially, which something we didn't talk about in wrestling news, I was initially going to pick Darby because he just hit the peak of Mount Everest.
He did. He climbed Mount Everest.
But we already talked about Darby.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we can't talk about Darby again.
So yeah, we're talking about Randall Orton. So, Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to ask you right off the bat here. Voices or Burning My Light?
Burn my life.
Damn right.
Yeah, there's
Hey!
nothing you can say. Yeah, no, there's no question about that.
Favorite Randy Orton era?
I don't even know if I have a favorite Randy Orton era. So fun fact, I hated Randy Orton forever. Like it really hasn't been until like recently now. So maybe I'll say like kind of what he's doing now because he's just kind of funny now. I mean he's always been kind of funny, but I really like I'm actually enjoying watching him with what he's doing now. But growing up and up until the past like 2 years, I fucking hated Randy Orton.
My favorite era is Legend Killer Orton, and then 09 Orton.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, even though the other half is a piece of shit, RK Bro still holds a lot of memories.
Maybe RK Bro
is so good.
Where I kind of started liking him because I was like really into the comedy vibe.
I really loved what he did during the pandemic where it was like Legend Killer 2.0.
Yeah.
Like it was Legend Killer 09 2.0 pretty much. And Evolution, of course.
I just think that and this is the thing, right? Like, because now that I understand more about wrestling and the inner workings of it, I look back and I give Randy the flowers. Because growing up, I hated Orton. I hated Orton when I got back into wrestling. Because, he just made it so easy to hate him. He was so good at making you hate him. And I fell for it. I got worked. I legitimately despised him. Did not like him. Could not stand him. Hated him. I just thought he was a piece of shit. That was a slimy fucking guy. I just didn't like him. And goddamn did he do a good fucking job.
That's how my mom felt about him. My mom always hated him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Randy Orton and my mom being like, I hate Randy Orton.
Yeah. I mean, he's a fantastic wrestler. But I fucking hated him. Hated him. And then when I finally started understanding how wrestling works, I was like, damn, he did such a good job.
Good job.
He really, because I cannot, emphasize to you how much, it wasn't, I was a fan and I loved to hate him. I genuinely despise seeing him.
Okay, so, babyface Orton or heel Orton?
I don't know.
I think I like heel Orton more.
Heel Orton's better.
Yeah.
I'll say mechanically wise, heel Orton's better. But because now understanding and watching him do heel stuff, I'm like, oh man, that's some classic Randy Orton right there. That's some classic OG Randy Orton right there. You know what I mean? I don't even think I can think of a time when Randy Orton was a face. And I know he was, but I can't off the top of my head.
He's now.
Well, he is now, but I mean in the past.
There's been a few times actually.
Well, I know. I'm not saying there hasn't been, but what I'm saying is To me,
he's more iconic as a heel.
Well, yeah, but to me, he never read as a face, even when he was a face, because I just fucking hated him.
That's fair.
Like, I just didn't trust him. I always assumed he was gonna do something. And then when he did something, I was like, I knew it. I knew that fucking piece of shit. Randall.
What's some of your favorite Randy Orton matches? I have a few. I do have a few. Orton's good. Orton's good in the ring.
Not to be cliche about it, but anything with him and Cena. I mean...
But man, I got some deep cuts.
give me some deep cuts.
Him and Angle from One Night Stand 06 is probably my favorite Randy Orton match.
All right.
It's so good. It's so good. Orton. Wow.
Oh, also, I will say, rated RKO.
We're getting there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Orton and Punk Mania 27 is a good one.
Yeah.
Orton and Cena 60-minute Iron Man match is good. Orton and Taker. Anything Orton and Taker is really good.
Yeah.
Like from Legend Killer era Orton. But yeah. Rated RKO. Iconic.
Oh yeah.
Iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking iconic. Iconic tag team. Legacy was iconic.
What was Legacy?
Him as Orton, DiBiase, and Cody Rhodes.
Okay, yeah.
No, my favorite Randy Orton match is him and John Cena versus the Raw roster.
The whole Raw roster is crazy.
One of my first Randy Orton moments that is implanted in my head, I have two actually, is him RKOing John Cena on the announce table and them like being like, he tore John Cena's fucking tricep. But actually wasn't from that. Like John Cena didn't tear his tricep from that, but like that's how they wrote him off. Or whatever. And then him fucking getting annihilated by Jeff Hardy when Jeff Hardy swantoned off of the fucking scaffold.
Yeah. Because
he was a part of that.
I think my favorite Randy Orton moment is when he popped his shoulder out of place, like slamming his hands on the mat.
Yeah. Insane.
Because, like, what the fuck, dude?
I remember being really confused as a child. So, like, Orton had a match against Triple H, like a last man standing match or whatever, and he breaks his collarbone in the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is right before he had the sleeve tattoos. So he still has his old tattoos, right? So obviously he breaks his collarbone, and that's a couple months off.
Yeah.
Like he's off for a couple months. He returns with sleeves. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like 9 years old, and I'm like, what? I was really confused. Same thing happened with Punk.
Yeah.
Punk, like, he didn't have a chest piece. And next thing you know, he's not wrestling for a little bit. He's injured. He's doing commentating. And the next thing you know, he takes off his shirt and he has a chest piece. I'm like, what the fuck?
In fairness, if I was out with injury, I'd get a tattoo.
Well, yeah, that's the best time.
That's the best time.
That's the best time to do it.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah.
It's the best time to fucking do it. That's why I'm behind on tattoos. I've been wrestling all these years.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, Randy Orton.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a little quick one to talk about because I feel like I don't have much to actually talk about with Randy Orton because for my whole life I hate him so much so I didn't give a fuck about what he was doing. But now I really like him. I really like watching him and I appreciate him a lot more. Dee.
How do you feel that it's called the RKO and it's just his initials?
What a dumb fuck.
So his original finish, it's hard to explain. It wasn't like the RKO or anything, but it was called the ozone layer.
What a dumb name. What do I call my finisher? How about just the abbreviation of my name? Randall Keith Orton.
And make that the whole person.
RKO. Out of nowhere. A Randall Keith Orton out of nowhere?
Let's see, so
iconic.
Can you tell the people why you actually hate Randy Orton? Like, tell them about the bullet for my Valentine thing that you always joked about.
So this fucking... Why the fuck was his Titantron? I don't know if it still is. Why the fuck was his Titantron in the same fucking font as the fucking bullet for my Valentine logo? And the thing is if you think about Randy Orton, like really sit and think about it. You don't even really have to sit and think about it. Just think about Randy Orton. Think about his music. Think about his appearance. Think about his vibe. Think about his Titantron. Literally all of it. That screams middle schooler who listens to Bullet for My Valentine. If you ask any middle schooler from the fucking 2000s,
hell yeah, brother,
who their favorite wrestler is, and they say Randy Orton, you could bet money there's a Bullet for My Valentine poster in their fucking room. Did I have a Bullet for My Valentine poster in my room? Yes, but one of my brother's favorite wrestlers was Randy Orton. So it kind of made sense that I listened to Bullet for My Valentine because my brother did.
Bullet for My Valentine.
It's some fucking skater kid with fucking Jinko jeans listening to Bullet for My Valentine, learning Tears Don't Fall on their fucking acoustic guitar because their parents won't buy them an electric, so they're using your dad's old acoustic guitar from the fucking 80s, thinking that they're tough fucking shit drinking Monster Energies. That's fucking Randy Orton. It's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. There's you can't tell me it's not. And I almost guarantee you, I don't know what Randy Orton's favorite band is, but I guarantee you in the top 5 it's Bullet for My Valentine.
Well, it's probably Rev Theory, to be honest with you.
I'm just saying.
I hear voices.
That shit just pisses me off. Why the fuck did he do that? But anyway. Anything else you want to add to this, or am I taking us out so I can take a quick shower at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning?
Take us out of here, princess.
I'm a warrior.
The ultimate warrior?
No, I was referencing that post that I sent you.
I forgot about that.
Anyway,
oh, no.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, send it out to your friends, family.
Be a warrior.
Be a warrior, not a princess. Send it out to Randy Orton and ask him, hey, Randy, what do you think about Bullet for My Valentine?
He'll say they're a warrior.
These fucks want to know. If you're interested in following me on any of my social medias, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the same handle, which is Lungtar, LUNG_TAR. You can find me.
You're getting choked up there. There's talk about it?
No, I'm going through the voice cracks. You know?
Oh, you're going through the puberty.
Yeah, I'm going through that puberty. You can find me on Blue Sky at the same handle, just slightly different. So Lungtar, LUNG_TAR. Hyphen. And you can find me on TikTok at Lungbucks, LUNG_BUCKS. Dylan, where can they find you? You're so loud. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, I was yawning because I'm fucking tired. Anyway, you can find me on the Instagram at Dill_line, Weaves_line, DYL_line, WEAVES_line. And you can find me on Twitter at the same thing, Dill Weaves, no underscore lines, one word. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.